Hi, I'm Rivington Bison III. Will you be an angel for a helpless champ? Every champ select Alawi gets neglected. Huni, Trace, won't you help? Primetime League starts right now.
That will be TSM slaughtering Counter Logic Gaming and taking second place for themselves.
That was insane. Barrag's Tigers still win it in 35 minutes. GG.
Hello and welcome to Primetime League. I am Rivington Bison III. He is David Freak Turley, and this is awesome.
Yes, it is, Rivington.
Absolutely. On Tuesday as well, more awesome, Riot announced that the 2016 Mid-Season Invitational would be taking place in Shanghai, China this May.
And it's going to be a whole bunch of fun, Riv. It's more like a mini Worlds this time around. Double round robin group stage going to be taking place May 4th to 8th. And then that same best of 5 single elim knockout from May 13th to 15th, 1 day per match. Going to be a whole bunch of fun.
Too cool. Riot also announced on Tuesday that the 2016 World Championship would be taking a road trip across North America.
Yes, it will. It's going to be great as well. Of course, Worlds will take place from September 29th to October 29th, so full months there. Group stage in San Francisco, quarterfinals in Chicago, semifinals in New York, and of course the finals back in Los Angeles at the Staples Center. Madison Square Garden going to be where New York's at, Chicago Theater. A lot of really great venues.
Who would have thunk it? It's going to be awesome. Well, we have a couple more months to wait before we see the clash of diverse playstyles and unique champ priorities that make international tournaments like MSI so exciting. One popular Asian pick has recently made its way to the LCS and Challenger. It's some top lane Nautilus. And I'm guessing we'll be seeing a lot more of the Titan of the Depths on the Rift if he keeps making plays like this.
Here comes the TP from Zig, though. He has home guard. Are they going to continue this?
He's looking for revenge. Oh, he comes back in. That was amazing. Jake is still in this fight. Youngbin chases forward onto Seraph. Seraph goes down, and they're looking now for Kez. He's charging it, charging.
Yeah. I mean, there's a serious answer, there's a jokey answer. The serious answer is that Nautilus is actually just a great sort of engaged tank top lane, works well with Sunfire, works well with Deadman's Plate. Grasp the Undying like allows you to trade really well when you don't normally have damage. That Keystone made a lot of low damage tops work again. And yeah, he's just strong.
You could say Nautilus puts Deadman on the plate. That was for you, by the way.
Good job.
While we take a moment to shake off the hammer shock of Zig's dredge line and Zyrene's laugh, let's unleash a riptide of the pros all chat in this edition of Mic Check.
You guys are good players. You should always try to play your game, not everyone else's.
Yeah.
That's what makes the difference between a great player and just a good player.
Oh my god, Maurice, salty baguette.
Wait, why am I salty, dude? I go there, I win one championship, go top 8 in Worlds, and go back.
Top 8 sounds better
is that the championship?
I need help here, maybe. We have to give up a tower, we have to give up a tower.
Give up bot lane. I mean, if I get there in time. Go bot, go game.
Yeah,
I'm taking one more, I'm backing.
I'm coming. I can ult the tower if you wanna die.
Yeah.
Ulting.
Nice. Back up.
Really good.
Try to kill Rex, he has no flash. I got him.
Good job, guys.
Nice, guys.
I watched Spirit stream, even Spirit sings good.
Please,
Oh my god.
please don't sing.
What do you mean, that angel voice?
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, what's next?
Hello from the poolside. You know, that's actually a good song by Mika.
Maybe you can sing it to remind us.
I only sing on special occasions.
Like what?
My wedding? Yes. Nuke's wedding. I will be best man and I'll be singing too. Okay, I will remember.
Hey, Jake, let's do drag. Let's do drag.
Don't chase.
Third drag.
We're getting dragon, guys.
Nice.
We're getting dragon.
Oh, you're dead. Oh, nice.
Oh, what a beast.
I might look for a bind on this guy.
TF is missing.
Careful, TF will get there first.
Yeah.
In that spot.
I'm looking sneaky.
One's missing.
How to read? Enemy support the name?
Spaghetti?
Sprattel.
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti? Sprat, how to read?
Eat the spaghetti, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian? Yo, we're good. Fight together. I'm backing out. Oh, push.
I'm recalling.
Chat might die. I'm dead.
Oh, shit, he sniped me.
Finishing over the wall. Finishing go over the wall.
I'm not smiling.
Okay, nice.
Run. I'm biting, run. Run. Save the brand.
We didn't get buried.
They both kiss us.
Torquay flash.
I can ulti again and full Zarya ulti.
Yeah, let's
We need to put on the shit after it's not working. Look.
She's gonna die, she's gonna die. She's dead.
Good, nice.
Good job.
We need to engage.
I don't think we need to fight. We need to engage. Like, go on.
Malphite.
We have to Malphite.
Is this defendable?
They ulted.
We're coming? Do you want to fight this?
Yeah, we can fight on the tower. Fight.
Yeah!
Go. Just back.
I'm dying.
Watching Malphite.
Nice ultimate! Gang behind you.
It's okay.
Protect the way. Oh
Nice.
yeah,
GG,
boys.
good
Oh
shit.
yeah, boys.
Nice job, guys. Good
Nice job.
Wednesday morning, LOL Esports tweeted out this extreme close-up of one of your LCS players and asked if you know the pro. If you knew that those breathing apparatuses belong to none other than Team Liquid's rookie jungler Dardoch, I'm impressed and also a little bit frightened. Speaking of frightened, Dardoch and his Liquid teammates take on the legendary Immortals this Sunday in the North American LCS Match of the Week. Better be sure to watch it. Dardoch has been impressive in his rookie split, but this weekend he's up against the best jungler in the LCS, which makes things difficult. Even though Reignover's streak of 9 straight First Bloods was halted by Wild Turtle last week, he has been dominating the North America since he stepped on the stage in January. And while Dardoch has been the best rookie jungler in the league, when it comes to rookies of the split, it has to go to Immortals. Immortals are only the second LCS team to start a split 10-0 and on pace to have the best statistical split in league history. And with the Renegades and inconsistent Team Liquid on their fight card this weekend, it'll take a huge game from Dardoch to prevent Immortals from improving to 12-0. And now for more on an NALCS match of the week, it's time to start the Death Timers.
This weekend, Death Timers like to welcome a new challenger to the show. Welcome, Jat.
This is a little strange because I could have sworn that normally when you have like a competition that the winner would stay, but it's actually the person who got crushed last week that I get to play against.
Well, no, this is more of a punishment.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the punishment program where you didn't do a League of Learning this time around, so now you have to do Death Timers.
Interesting.
You're still roped
So
in.
if I win, then I can go back to League of Learning.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
So good luck. And if I'm in, I'm just out of PTL for the rest of time. No. So this week's topic is about our North American LCS match of the week: Immortals versus Liquid. Obviously, Immortals are an incredibly strong team, 10-0. But the question is, does Liquid have a reasonable chance of beating them? Could they conceivably win? And you're the guest. You can go first, with whichever side you want on this argument.
I mean, if we're just saying there's a chance, I'm going to go for Team Liquid.
Okay. So can Liquid win? 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, Liquid could win. They have a really talented roster. They still have Piglet and Phoenix from last year, who many people thought were best in position or very close to. And the way Immortals wins a lot of the time is by winning every single lane. So a team that can beat them is teams that can beat them at lane. The team that was closest to beating them was Team Seoul Mid because they have strong players, didn't even need very good strategy. But Liquid has been leveling up their strategy throughout the year, and they have very strong players in very key positions. Phoenix in mid lane can beat Pobal through 1v1. Piglet as AD carry can keep down Wild Turtle. And Dardoch got out-CS'd by 50 the last time they played Reignover. He's a fast enough learner that he's not going to let that happen again. The only question mark would be Lorlo in the top lane, but I think they can overcome that because they can have advantages in 2 lanes, as well as Dardoch in the jungle. I don't even need the full 45 seconds because that's enough.
All right, well, then I'm going to use the rest of your time to say vote #FreakWin.
It's perfectly
because I'm the
timed.
best. Look at you. I mean,
Hashtag Jat win, I think is the hashtag.
Yeah, no, it is. But
good.
yeah, but now you went over time, so now you kind of like betrayed yourself.
I didn't go over time.
You just literally talked
I'm
after the
just
buzzer.
having a conversation.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure
just
then,
like
Jat.
you. You're cheating. You're talking before time. You guys haven't started yet.
Fair point. I'll give you that one. I concede that point. All right. Well, it's my turn here for #FreakWin. 3, 2, 1, go me. And I think it's actually, well, yes, it's possible. I think the chances are so incredibly slim for Liquid here. Immortals, super stacked lineup, and I think that the Dardoch versus Reignover matchup is actually more advantageous than you're giving credit for. The thing I kind of look at here is the Immortals versus C9 match, where C9 could equalize in team fights, right? Player skill was close, it was there, but Immortals, the understated advantage these guys have is they're incredibly good macro play. They're team fighting equal to C9, but are crushing in turrets. They're crushing in minion wave management. They're getting gold in so many other ways that are not just direct confrontation. These guys are, I think, a step ahead, multiple steps ahead actually, of these teams in terms of how to play the game. When they get into the game loading, and the bot lane knows, oh, it's going to be top lane focused this game. We know the entire time to play around the fact that Reignover is going to be over by Huni, and the entire game plan is multiple steps ahead.
Multiple step. Target game plan is what? You didn't.
Multiple.
It cut off. You didn't finish your point.
Well played. I do think Immortals are multiple steps ahead, though. I think they're super intelligent.
I can't hear
They're
you.
just such an intelligent
It
team
ended.
that it's going to be so hard for a bunch of rookies to beat
But
them.
at the start of your argument, you said there was a chance, so I win.
Oh, sure. You know what? You can say that all you want. I'm arguing semantics and percentages. Either way, guys, now that you've heard what we've had to say, it's time to let us know who had the better argument. Hit us up on Twitter. Use @LaliSports with hashtag JatWin if you want to get your weekly act of charity in for the week, or hashtag Frequent if you already done your good deed and you want to win the argument via being on my side. Jat, thanks for trying.
Hey, Stress here in Berlin, ready to preview Week 6 of the European LCS. And as we crested the halfway point of the split, I wanted to take a look at the standings and see exactly where the teams lie. At the top of the standings, still G2 Esports and H2K are locked into a tie. And our expectations for the old guard have somewhat been dulled here, as Fnatic and Origin hanging out in that 5th and 6th spot. Speaking of Fnatic, we wanted to highlight two key matchups this week, both taking place on Thursday. The first of which is Fnatic versus G2 Esports, our match of the week. And the big story for Fnatic recently has been their substitute in the bottom lane. Klai comes in as the support role, and honestly in the first game seemed to have a decent setup. His thresh was decent, it kind of allowed Fnatic to take the win against Elements. But we started to see a few issues creep into the Fnatic squad against the Unicorns of Love, a game they would ultimately lose on the second day of play last week. And for Reckless, his AD carry alongside Klai, he actually had the best week so far of the spring split. He only died twice, so maybe things do seem to be on the up and up for Fnatic, but time will tell whether it's a fix for the entire team. Their opponents, however, had their own issues this week, as a couple of dodgy team fights. They didn't really get the engages they wanted, actually running kind of a full engage composition. They had the Malphite, they had the Alistar. They just couldn't draw Vitality into the fights early enough to be able to close out the game. And speaking of Alistar, Hybrid there, we've already talked about how there's a new support on the other side of the rift for Fnatic. For G2, Hybrid has been instrumental. He's played a lot of Braum, and his engages typically have been very good, so it was weird to see G2 kind of regress this week. But if they can fix their issues, that's going to be a surefire, interesting match between two teams that realistically are headed for the playoff race. Two other teams that are locked at the top end of the table, Vitality and H2K, follow in the very next matchup. And the biggest story coming into this matchup is for H2K fans, Ryu is back. The unspoken presence in that middle lane that really everybody has touted to be just a big voice in the game. Outside of all of his stats, outside of his performance, he is one of the primary shot callers of H2K and directs a lot of the traffic, the flow of the game. So maybe we'll get to see a lot of that strong macro style, the early rotations, the fast grouping that we saw from H2K in the first few weeks of the spring split. Their opponents, however, Vitality, are coming off the best week they've had so far. A good 2-0 week. Honestly, they looked very strong, and if they're at full strength, we know they're a good micro team. We know their mechanics are very good. Can they cope against H2K's macro style? I'm super excited for week 6. We got some great games coming up. I cannot wait to see who sits at the top of the table at the end of this week.
Dr. Seuss once said, fantasy is a necessary ingredient in living. So whether you'd like them in a house, with a mouse, in a box, or with a fox, here are your Week 6 fantasy studs. Up first, Froggen. Oh, Froggen, oh, you're wonderful. The time off didn't hurt him at all. The team kept practicing despite having those issues. He is tied for 4th in most fantasy points per game from last week's matches. This week he's against Team Impulse and Liquid, who give up decent amount of points to mid. Honestly, they're 2 games that Echovox can totally win. Only 26% start Froggen. That should probably change to a number much higher. Froggen, I think, is totally worth playing here. Next up, G2 support Hybrid has been just awesome in general as a support. Not only is G2 good, but their bottom lane gets a whole lot done. He averages 15.5 fantasy points per game. That is 4th highest. That's really good. They're up against Rocket, who gives up a lot of points as a weaker team, and also Fnatic as a mid-tier team is someone that these guys can beat as well. So good record looking like, and multiple kills. Third up for a stud is Sneaky. Seems kind of obvious, but honestly, he's only started in like 60% of leagues, and while his historical point totals have been a little bit below average, this week should be actually a lot better for him here. Up against TSM, who gives up a lot of points to AD carries. Also Energy, who are typically playing longer and high kill games as well. So I have a good feeling that Sneaky should do very well in this week's games, and close games tend to mean more points as well. Now, let's talk about the messes that are so big and so deep and so tall. You cannot pick them up. It's time to bench these duds all. Up first, all of Vitality. They are the lowest scoring fantasy team of teams that have a winning record. Not a single player on the roster is top 8 in fantasy points per game, meaning bench everyone. The best is Cabochard at 9th, and okay, grats, you can get the 9th best top laner. Also, they face H2K and Unicorns of Love. These are two of the best teams in Europe, which means not even that likely that Vitality wins their games. And H2K wins super cleanly, and they have Ryu back. Just steer clear. Next up, Fnatic jungler Spirit has not lived up to the hype. They play G2, who are incredibly good. Also, they play Splice, who lose too fast to give up many points. These guys do not give points away in their games, so it's not that useful here. Last time Spirit played those teams, he had his second and third worst games of the split in terms of point totals. Again, steer clear. Next up, also Liquid's jungler Dardoch. I know Dardoch's very good. There's a good hype train for a reason. You should buy your tickets in general, but this week, maybe not so much. They play Immortals. That's a bad sign. It's a really bad sign for Liquid players, so you might want to steer clear for that reason. Also, they play Echo Fox, who might be super duper good as well. Right now, they're winning a bunch of their games. This might be a terrible week for Liquid, so maybe you jump off Dardoch for now. It might be a sub 20-point week, which is pretty abysmal. There, now you have studs in your head. You have duds that will lose. You can steer yourself in any direction that you choose. I'm David Freak Turley, and I'm in it to win it. This has been the PTL Fantasy Minute.
Well, Sunday's David versus Goliath between Liquid and Immortals is the North American game of the week. In the hearts of longtime LCS fans, the battle between TSM and C9 is just as important, especially coming at a time when both teams are playing possibly their best league of the split.
Yeah, everybody's been keeping track of both of these squads because coming in, there was so much hype around TSM. Brought together all of these stars, yet it took so long to get it working for them. You know, they've had marked improvements for every week that we've had, but they've been very small improvements, and the team didn't feel like they were where they really wanted to be until last weekend. You know, TSM finally felt like they had one of the best weekends for themselves. Pretty much everybody on the team was performing. It really all did start out in that mid lane, though. I mean, the solo kill EpicSkillshot got onto Huhi was a huge part of that. And overall, this split, EpicSkillshot has not been performing as well as he used to. You know, the king of the mid lane, you know, the Danish import for North America was the huge reason for TSM's power. And this beginning of this split hasn't been there quite as much. That's a scary thing going against Cloud9 and Jensen, who has been a monster this split.
He has been huge. You talk about EpicSkillshot. EpicSkillshot came in and he was big. Jensen took a season and now he's starting to get big.
Yeah, if you compare Jensen's previous stats to Jensen now, or Incarnation, you know, before the name change.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're the complete opposite story of EpicSkillshot, pretty much up across the board in KDA, damage dealt, and all of the stats. So this is going to be a really interesting matchup because while we're used to seeing TSM versus Cloud9, usually it's TSM who have the upper hand in the mid lane, team solo mid, yet now Cloud9 have this really big power player in the mid lane with High back on the team, enabling him to make all of these solo plays.
Like I said, it'll be interesting to see how far Incarnation can go because this was his first split in. We see EpicSkillshot coming over from Copenhagen Wolves from the European LCS. They kind of brought that power already. Maybe Incarnation is still growing. And speaking of carries, TSM brought in Yellowstar to carry their communication and shot calling. But so far this spring, TSM has looked anything but coordinated so far, while High continues to be somewhat of a Hall of Fame caliber shot caller leader.
Yeah, I think this is another kind of interesting side-by-side we can do with the TSM and Cloud9 of this year. High, as you know, they've settled on him as a shot caller. He's been in the last couple of weeks. Bunny Fufu's still working with him, you know, to try and improve his support play. But meanwhile, it's Yellowstar on the other side, the other support who was brought in initially. We talked about the expectations for this TSM team. Yellowstar was going to sort of take on and lead the communication, in-game communications, at least for these guys, and that has been one of the big sticking points that people have been pointing out. There are a lot of times when, you know, in one of the games, a member of TSM will want to initiate and commit to a fight and go for a kill, while at the exact same time, someone else is leaving because they thought they gave up on the play. So these small little hiccups are still happening for them. We'll see if they're ironed out against Cloud9.
It just continues to make us all feel human, though, in our mistakes.
Yes.
Feels good. Feels good.
Everybody makes mistakes.
For the fans, it's all got to stop. Well, we get to see which leader can pilot their team to victory this Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific when TSM takes on Cloud9.
Get your hashtags ready. It's time for PTL's Twitter question of the week. But first, let's go back in time. About 148 hours ago, we asked you which players will lead the North American and European LCS in kills this week. For a place in the newly renovated PTL Hall of Fame, what will their total combined kills be? Well, the European kill leader was the Unicorn Sly mid laner Fox with 13, while in North America it was the AD carry that goes more ham than Porky Pig himself, Wild Turtle. This Callista Beta racked up an impressive 18 kills over the weekend, bringing the total kill count to 31 for those two leaders. So while no one got into the Hall of Fame this week, we did have 4 winners who guessed both Turtle and Fox, so congratulations to Yoda, Pato3556, Fluffy Lane 227, and Mariek7. A lot of numbers in these names, but that's okay. Numbers are cool. Now, if you'd like to garner the fame and fortune that accompanies entry into the Hall of Fame, then you have another chance this week. But first, let's give you some backstory. With Jin making his debut in the LCS on Sunday, it got us thinking, which champions have started the most games in the history of the LCS? Well, Thresh easily squashes a Spider Queen and crushes Lucian, but he should probably get used to getting owned since the Chain Warden, stole his wife a while ago. It's kind of normal for Lucian at this point. But marital counseling aside, this week we want to know the 5 champions that will get played the most during this week's 20 LCS games. For a chance at the Hall of Fame, how many times will those 5 champions be played in total? For example, I'm going to say Fiora, Corki, Lucian, Elise, Thresh. 50 games total among the 5. And if you want your guess to be counted, make sure to tweet @LOL Esports and use the hashtag PTL and get your guess in by the start of the European LCS. Otherwise, it goes down undefined, just like Shen's KDA.
While you are making your picks, let's head over to Seoul, where the LCK kicked off Week 6 of the Spring Split on Wednesday. After Jin Air took Game 1, KT pulled out a set of back pocket picks. All-world top laner Someday rolled in with a Rammus, and Score rumbled in the jungle. It was pretty crazy. The picks worked, but Jin Air ended up taking Game 3, which means the LCK standings are going to shape up just like this. Thanks to that win over KT, Jin Air sits alone in 2nd place. I am also shocked. While KT drops all the way down to 5th, 1 game behind Samsung, after the surprising Galaxy took out CJ on Wednesday in Game 2 of the LCK. While that win was a huge statement by Jin Air, their Week 6 doesn't get any easier as they take on the undefeated ROX Tigers in our LCK BF Match of the Week. The Jin Air Green Wings have been a pleasant surprise during the first half of the 2016 Spring Split, while the Tigers are hoping that a new jungler and another new tri-code will be the final pieces in a quest for the Spring Split title and post-season glory.
This is going to be really awesome, Riv. So, of course, we know that ROX Tigers are the #1 team in Korea. They still have 80% of that team that got top 2 at Worlds, while Peanut is now in the jungle for Hojin. Peanut's actually doing very well. He's tied for 2nd in MVP points, so a solid jungler there. Smeb, the top laner, is still amazing. He's also tied for 2nd in MVP points, so a lot of great players in this roster. And overall, this is a ROX Tigers roster that are undefeated in best of 3s with only Jin Air, which they're playing on Friday, and Spenu, who's the worst team in the LCK left in the first half of the split. These guys are crushing it.
That's right. And while ROX's lineup is looking better than ever, some experts thought the Green Wings might crash and burn after they lost half of their roster over the offseason.
Right, exactly, Riv. They lost Chaser, who many thought was the best jungler in Korea, GBM atop their mid laner in Korea, and Captain Jack, who was solid in his own right. And instead of finding free agents, they pulled up their subs, Winged, Kuzan, and Pilot. They played at IEM San Jose and got destroyed, so it was like, wow, these guys are going to really suck. But the thing is, they've shaped it up. Yep. This is now the #2 team in Korea. They beat KT Rolster. They beat SK Telecom. Pilot was splitting time with Captain Jack anyway, but Kuzan coming in from mid for GBM is actually really solid. 2nd place KDA for all mid laners, tied for 5th in MVP points. Their top laner Trace is still in the roster, which is super important because he is amazing. Trace is ridiculous. He is 2nd in KDA in the entire league, only behind SK Telecom's AD carry Bang. He is a monster on the game, right? #1 in MVP points. He's the reason this team is good, and Jin Air are looking to stay in second. Now, both Jin Air and the Rocks Tigers are very much about team play. It's going to be a really, I think, good match. Jin Air aren't great at closing out games, but if they can hold that lead, it should be all right. And this will be just an excellent match to watch.
That just means longer fun, right?
It does mean longer fun.
So for our second BF match of the week, let's head down to Taipei, where AHQ continues to dominate the LMS. Since the start of the 2015 Summer Split, AHQ has only lost 3 games to LMS opponents total, and they have yet to drop a best-of-3 series in the league. Westdoor and crew have gone an incredible 40-3 over that period, the best for any team in the 5 premier regions. Look it up. The last team to beat them in the LMS was TPA way back on July 12th of 2015. The same team AHQ will be taking on in our second BF match of the week. Freak, take it away.
More BF matches going to be awesome. TPA has actually been fairly inconsistent this year, but they are steadily improving over time. BB is once again back on TPA. I feel like he switches rosters every couple of months here, but he was playing for Assassin Snipers not long ago, and now he's back. Their jungler Refrain is also getting a bit better, and their mid laner Fofo is quite solid, so TPA are definitely a team to watch for.
All right, Fofo is going to have his hands full as he goes up against the most dynamic mid lane duo since Faker and EasyHoom. This year, AHQ has been playing their Assassin God CS Pleb Westdoor on the blue side, while they've actually been using their superstar acquisition Chowie when they're defending the red Nexus.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch AHQ because they play multiple different styles. Again, we talk about how Westdoor and Chowie are very, very different types of players, right? Westdoor is going to dive, he's going to just run around and kill things all the time, and Chowie is much more spread out. He's got a much bigger champion pool. So Westdoor, Chowie, right, they've played 10 unique champions in 12 games. Right? These guys are definitely going to pretty much run out anything here. And really, they're definitely one of the best teams right here. They look like the shoe-in to go to MSI, but if TPA can topple that and take their spot, then good for them.
It's pretty crazy. It also opens up the door of finally, can another team successfully swap out somebody on the team back and forth? Can you just use a sub like Faker and EasyHoon? And it's been working. It's going to open the door for many, many teams. Hopefully we see a lot more because it opens up so much competition.
Yeah.
And you get to see all these different champions being played, or you switch it up, and while we'll see Chowie on blue side and Westdoor on red side.
Right, exactly. It's working for them.
Box, baby.
They can keep going for it.
So in honor of the LMS and LPL returning after taking some time off to celebrate the Year of the Monkey, let's celebrate a week of hype plays, or as Japan's Yotori Moyashi and the LPL Stark can now call it, the Penta.
Coming in at number 5, Avant-Garde Stark picked up a Penta kill in his first game of the Oceanic Pro League.
Denian's going to fall down. Malaz just holding on to them. It is going to be the Ren that gets rid of the support, but can they lock down Stark? Ryu dies immediately. Cookie going to fall, but it's a double kill for Bomb. Can he do enough to control this fight? But Frey's going to fall. Quadra kill comes in. Stark, he picks up the Penta in his first game of the OPL.
At number 4, from Latin America South, Chaos Latin Gamers Reggie assassinated Last King's Raquise in this 1v1.
También incluso el destello. Parece que me hizo caso, hasta lanzaba con todo, cadenas etéreas y tiene ignición y murió. Oh, cuidado, media vuelta, a ver si puede al menos vengarse, no te lo creo. Dios, un tapaboca directo y se ríe nomás. Reggie, bien hecho, me cerró la boca. Conecta su definitiva, haciendo una cantidad de daño importante, pero lo más importante es que logra conectar esas cadenas etéreas entre medio de los súbditos. Y aquí con la ignición era prácticamente asegurado, pero el golpe de la torre fue lo decisivo.
Echo Fox's KFO was an unstoppable force with his 4-man Malphite ultimate against Energy in our number 3 play.
Righteous Glory's up, Runic Echo is up, Energy's trying to get this turret right back, but there goes KFO!
4-man ulti from KFO, and look at the slaughter! Malphite's right there, and they see him.
They see him, so they're 4-man Malphite ultimate in full view of the team, no one flashing back, and nothing to stop him from flying in.
At number 2, Immortal's Wild Turtle lived up to his team's name as he came out on top in this 1v3.
Pavelta stops blocking it, and he goes back in for Sneaky, but Russian Ball's unstoppable, maybe even literally, as he keeps going in. Turtle, 1 versus 3, and he takes 3 of them down.
And at number 1, from the League of Legends Japan League, Seventh Heaven's Yotori Moyashi picked up a 4v5 pentakill.
時間は稼いだ、あとは任せたブラックアイチームメンバー任せたがゆとりもやしがダブルキル 2v3 さあどうなるゆとりもやしダメージ出し切ってはいるアルボール捕まえきれないティントンとゆとりもやしが捕まえきれないトリプルキルそのまま判定ゆとりもやしクワドラキルペンタがあるのか今シーズン 2016LGL2016 初ペンタあるのかゆとりもやしペンタキル
If you are watching any of the myriad professional leagues this week and see a Savage play that you think deserves recognition, hit us up.
That's right, Riv. Tweet at Lily Sports, use hashtag the Penta, and your nominee, plus your Twitter handle, could be included in next week's countdown.
Now, while we can't all make Penta-worthy plays like the pros, I know Freak does sometimes. He's such
very rarely.
It's good to know that every once in a while the pros make plays like us.
These I do a lot of. The fails, yeah, absolutely. It gives me this nice Schadenfreude-esque, feeling of wonderfulness when players with lightning-fast reflexes just flash in the walls sometimes.
That's great. You can check out some of last week's best/worst pro fails in this week's cathartic last hit.
It doesn't die fast enough. Xmithie's dangerously low.
Yeah, still a little early in the game for that one.
Oh! We saw that.
Saw that.
Energy didn't, but we did.
Oh,
what? No, Hui! No! Hui, no! Oh my god, he's gonna kill Impact anyway, but he doesn't deserve it. No, he's not! Oh my god, yes, he is!
I don't think the previous ones got flashes. Hui gets caught though. Taking a lot of damage. Has got his shield facing the wrong way.
Can High get it over the wall? Binding's up soon. Oh, that was not even close to on point.
Whatever, he got the the first blood. You give him a pass on that one?
All right.
Question mark?